to another edition of the StudentFyre Podcast, live from the SpeakFyre studio. My name is Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I am here to help you live your best life today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the StudentFyre Podcast, live from the SpeakFyre studio. I'm your host, Bobby Berg, and thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy you're here. Y'all, everyone that's been checking out all the episodes, that's been going back and listening to the old ones, I appreciate every single bit of you. I hope everyone's been having a great day. So let's jump right into this episode. We're going to start talking about the flight attendant in the disc. So this is our I. But first, I want to talk about you. I want you to take a second for you. And I want you to just take 5 seconds. And I want you to be really one with yourself. See how you're feeling. See how you're doing. Be that good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. I want you to be you for a couple minutes. Seconds. Sorry. Let's just check in. 3, 2, 1, and shh. See, that wasn't all that bad. So, today we are going to talk about the I. We are going to be talking about the flight attendant. If we were talking about, a flight crew. And most importantly, what does the I stand for? The I is your influencer. Now, not necessarily the influencer as everyone thinks, where we're talking about a YouTuber or somebody that's TikTok famous. We're talking about someone whose personality naturally influences others. Now with this, everybody that took their disc last week, congratulations. For everybody that hasn't, if you haven't and you want to really understand this coaching or these next, the 4 series of episodes, I want you to reach out to me. It's info@bobbyberg.com or slide in my DMs on Instagram @bobbyberg or TikTok @bobbyberg and just tell me, hey, I'd like to take this so I can understand what you're talking about. I would love to give you the test. It's free. Now it's been said. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. We're talking about your I. So there are a lot of strengths. If you have a high I score, here are some strengths that you might have. You might be very socially and verbally aggressive. And I don't mean that in you're aggressive in trying to force people to listen to you. You are just very out there. You are very optimistic. You're very open. You're very positive. And in that aggression, I mean that you are so wrapped around yourself and you want everyone to feel as great as you feel. You're very optimistic, as I just said. You can look at any situation and go, I can figure this out. For instance, everyone knows that one friend where no matter what life throws them, they could fail a test, they could just absolutely ruin their day, they could be told that, they got a flat tire when they got into work or into school and they ran over a nail, and their response is probably going to be something along the lines of, we'll get it figured out. No worries. We'll make it work. Something's going to happen. Don't worry. You're optimistic about everything. Another possible strength that you might have is you're very good at persuading people. You're very good at making other people see your point of view and, more importantly, bringing them over to your point of view. With this verbal aggression that you have, you're very good at you're a wordsmith. A lot of you might be poets. You might be writers. You're very, very, you might be speakers. You're very good with words. Another strength, you can see the big dream. You can see the big picture, the big idea that you have in your head of what the world could look like or your project could be or what the big perfect goal is. And you can communicate that effectively to your team. That's one of your best strengths is you can do that. A lot of people have trouble explaining their dreams, but our eyes, oh no, y'all are all over that. That's your bread and butter. Next. You're very people-oriented. You're also very team-oriented. So you're not there just for you to show off what you can do, to show off the strength that you have. No. You are about the team and you are about people. You are about making sure that the world and everyone around you succeeds with you. It's not just about them. It's about you. It's not just about you. It's about the whole team. And lastly, another probable strength that you have is you're motivated by praise a lot. You bask when people give you praise. When people say, hey, Kayla, you did an awesome job today. I'm so proud of you. The way you pulled the team together, oh, it was great. That is going to send you over the moon. Even those of you that aren't really, all that good at taking compliments, like you're that person that when someone says, hey, great job, you go, and it's some response of it could have been better. Oh, I'm just here. Oh, I just work here. Trust me, I do this all the time. This is what you do. That's even for the people that don't love getting that praise socially, you internally are just over the moon because you love that praise. Now, something I want to talk about real quick is some limitations with this personality style and this communication style. Who here has been really listening for the past 5 minutes? How many breaths have I taken to stop and let you process what I've said? Maybe 6? Maybe in the 5 minutes we've been talking. I haven't stopped. I've just been going. See, with my disc assessment, I'm a very high I. I'm a 99. So my I score is high. So when I had to record this, I was talking to my team and I said, I'm just going to go. And a couple of them rolled their eyes and they just said, okay, this is going to be a long episode, isn't it? Here he goes. Kid's going to talk. But that's what I mean by that social and verbal aggression is eyes have no trouble talking. You have no trouble spewing just words until you get to your point, which that's okay. Another thing is you'll notice eyes love telling stories. They explain their points and they explain their visions through telling stories, be these personal stories that they've experienced or things that they've witnessed themselves. Which can be good, but also for my D's, I know the D's that are listening to this are like, dude, wrap it up. You haven't even gotten to the limitations of this. Please hurry up. You're wasting my time. Because D's, again, are very much based on giving direct feedback. They want short sentences. They want straight to the point, and they want to get on to the next goal. I's, we will just talk. We will just talk because we feel great. We feel awesome. We love hearing ourselves talk. We love being in the spotlight. And more importantly, we think that the world loves seeing us in the spotlight too, which at times it can. If you look at Will Smith, who does not love listening to that man talk? Everyone does. Most people do. Why? Because he's a flight attendant. He's an I. Like, that's what he does. He's there to entertain the crowd. Now, let's jump into some limitations. Eyes are very much known to act impulsively. I've had this happen multiple times in my life where someone will give me a task. For instance, at work the other day. See, here we are going right into the stories. We had to get something done, and there wasn't really an easy or efficient or smart way to go about it. And looking at our options, I just said, let's do this. And my whole team looks at me and they're like, Bobby, why? Okay, I'll follow you, man, but I don't understand why. And I said, I don't know, just sounded like a good idea. And everyone chuckled, but after we did the task, we made it work. And at the end of it, one of my buddies said, hey, Bobby, I really want to understand your thought process with this. They're the type of person that's very analytical, so they want to understand. They want me to show my work. They want me to show how I got there. And I just said, I don't know. It just sounded like a good idea. It sounded like something we could do. We could have done any of the options, but this one to me really stuck out, so I rolled with it. And something that's been said with eyes is that we are very heart over mind, where I'm not going to think about how something works. I'm just going to execute on it right away. I'm just going to do it. Another limitation is we can sometimes have unrealistic, we can be unrealistic, right? We can sometimes look at our goals and go, well, people can do this. You can really make this happen. I believe in you. And I'll talk you up. I will gas you up like you wouldn't believe. And that's convincing myself that you can do the task. We sometimes get very unrealistic in other people's abilities and in the timelines that we set and the goals that we set. For my eyes out there, how many of you have had a 10-page paper due and you waited until the week of to start? Better yet, how many of you have had, for my college students, how many of you have had a term paper that's due on, Monday morning and you waited until Sunday at noon to open your laptop to start writing? Huh? Don't lie to me. I'm not gonna throw it under the bus, but I'm gonna tell you right now that I've done that multiple times. And the problem with me is the second I realized that I could do that I realized I'm that strong of a writer and I'm that strong of an orator that I realized, I can wait. I can pull it off. Now, granted, that's procrastination, which is not good. And contrary to popular belief, procrastination is a form of anxiety. And so welcome to the team on that one, y'all. But really, it's, there are times where it's not really a good idea to just hold things off or to wait. So sometimes we can get really unrealistic in our expectations. So you have to be aware of this. We're very inattentive to detail. Sorry. Sometimes we don't care about what the details are. That is going to be for our high C. That's going to be for our air traffic controller. That's your job, is to make sure that everything works. I don't care about that. I don't want to see that. That's not my job. That's your job, not mine. I'm here to dream up the big dream. You're there to make sure that every little detail is handled. I really couldn't care less about them. Another limitation could really be you're a situational listener. I've met eyes before where I will tell them every single small detail about a task. And when we're going over the debrief and I ask them, hey, can you tell me exactly what you have to do? They have no clue because they were not really listening. And I say, hey, well, you said you were listening. What happened? They said, I was listening passively. I was really thinking about where we were going to go for lunch today and how great, Sonny's is down the street. Man, they just have these best wraps and the smoothies there and the staff is so nice. And you have to reel them back and be like, hey, lunch is cool. But for now, for the next 30 minutes, I need you focused on this. So they can sometimes situationally listen. And lastly, y'all can be super disorganized. It's nothing against you. I don't mean that to be mean, but there's a reason I'm not filming this episode in person, where you can actually see the camera, because my room is an absolute disaster. But in my head, I know exactly where everything is. I know where my taxes are. I know where my paperwork is. I know where my speaking contracts are. I know exactly where my uniform's at, where my game cards are, where my mice are. Like, I know where everything is. But if I were to ask anyone, like, one of my buddies is a super, super big C. So she needs every single thing to be organized, needs it to be in its place. She legitimately has, on her desk, she has an outline for every single piece of equipment that she has, be it her pens, her notepads, her computer mouse, her speakers, her mug even. Everything has its place, and it's outlined on her desk. So there's no question of where it's going to go. Whereas if she were to come into my office right now and look at what's going on, she'd have a panic attack because everything's all over the place. There's no organization to it. It's crazy. So those are some things to look out for. Some words that you can use if you've got, that might describe you if you have a higher I score. You could be inspiring. You could be magnetic. You can be enthusiastic, demonstrative, warm, convincing, polished, sociable, and reflective. Now, if you have a lower score, here are some other words. And none of these words are better or worse than others. They're just some words that you could be, that could be you. Now, these are going from higher to lower, so just keep that in mind. Factual, calculating, skeptical, logical, suspicious, matter of fact, pessimistic, moody, critical, and distrusting. Now, distrusting was at a 0, but that's okay. Now, what I want everyone to realize that happened in this episode is I was talking super fast, I was super energetic, I was super enthusiastic, and I kind of toned it back a little bit as the episode went on. I want you to be aware of that because I want you to see how people's communication styles change. Because just because I have a high I score doesn't mean I'm always my I, right? It means that there are levels to this. There's layers. Yes, like onions have layers. Shrek reference, you knew it was coming. Don't. Anyway, so for this week for your homework, I want you to listen to both last week's episode and this week, and I want you to compare and contrast the two. And more importantly, if you haven't taken the disc, I implore you, reach out to me. I would love to give you the test so you can understand what these episodes are about, and more importantly, you can understand what applies to you and what doesn't. One of the listeners reached out last week, and they said, I don't really, the D episode is cool, but I just don't get it. It doesn't really apply to me. Well, when they took their test, or they took their assessment, they have a 10 D score. And I said, well, yeah, of course this isn't gonna apply to you. I mean, it might a little bit, but not really. So I want you to take these next 4 episodes, and I want them to be applicable to you so you can use these skills. You can understand what it means. And more importantly, if you want a one-on-one coaching session where I will break down your entire disc packet, I'd be happy to do it. Again, this is a free resource. I want you to have the best day, the best week, the best life you possibly can, and I want you to understand how you communicate. When you understand how you communicate with other people, it's like you unlock the cheat code. Like the whole old school book of cheat codes is in your hand now because you understand how you communicate and you understand the flaws in your communication. So that's your homework for the week. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I hope you have had a great weekend. I hope this week starts off great. I hope your Monday starts off excited. And most importantly, I hope that you understand that you're amazing. You are loved. You are powerful beyond measure. You matter. You make a difference in so many people's lives. Whether you see it or not, I want you to understand that you are amazing. I don't care if you feel amazing or not. You need to know this deep in your heart, deep in your subconscious. I'm going to say this until your subconscious finally wakes up and believes it, okay? I love you. I hope you have a fantastic week. You are amazing. Reach out with any episode ideas you have. reach out with anything you've learned. I love you all so much for all that you're doing and for keeping this show thriving. Hope you have a wonderful week. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. Whew, that was another awesome episode of the StudentFyre Podcast. Thank y'all for sticking around for this long, but I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? See, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show to apps? Like, do I have to do it individually, or can I just have one place that does everything for me? And most importantly, how do I make money from my podcast? Is that even an option? Well, honestly, y'all, your answer is Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors that want to advertise on your podcast. Yes, you. That means you can get paid to make the podcast. You can get paid to podcast the right way. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. If you want to get in on this, if you want to make your podcast a reality and you want your success and your word to be a thing, man, you already know. Hop over to Anchor and give it a start. You won't regret it. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
I got you.
It's coming. Are you ready to ignite the fire?
We are StudentFyre.
Oh, and by the way, that's fire with a Y.
What's going on, everyone?
Internal fire.
StudentFyre.
Young fire. Father's fire. Leadership fire.
Champion fire.
Unlocking the fire within.
Thank you all for tuning in. Let's grow.
Speak fire.
SpeakFyre.com.
StudentFyre with a Y.
We have a new episode that comes out every Monday at 4 a.m. Are you going to be up with us?
Deuces.
I am excited to bring you my new book, Trendsetter, 7 Steps to Radically Stand Out to Be the Best You. This book details my journey of coming to the United States and being excited to embrace the American culture. But unfortunately, my culture was not accepted, and I found myself being bullied as a young girl. And in this process, I decided that I wanted to disconnect from my culture to be more accepted into American culture. And through that process, I got so depressed from trying to fit in that I attempted suicide my freshman year in high school. So this book talks about the journey of what I did to become radically transformed, to be the strong woman I am today. This book is something that's really going to enable the reader to understand and embrace who they are, embrace what makes them special, and become radically transformed. Get your copy today at becomingatrendsetter.com. Again, that is becomingatrendsetter.com, or check it out at my website at aishathomas.org.